Hey guys, ignore my messy hair. Although we all know it's been way worse before. Well, maybe if you're new, you don't know. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. This video is all about dance. Everything, it's a lot about dance. And some fun stories about dance. And so I came up with a couple questions. And that the first one is, when did I start on point, and how did I start on point? So that's something that in ballet there is three types of shoes. There's a ballet slipper, which is a very common thing, and it's just like a very common thing. And then there's a shoe called point shoes, and when you go all the way up on your feet. Now, ballet slippers are the ones that get used. I feel like they get used all the time, and there's a lot of dancers my age and older than me that are still using ballet slippers. And even my ballet teacher uses them. And then point shoes are shoes made of wood. And point shoes usually only get used if you're I feel like they only get used if you are someone that is doing a full time ballet career, and if you're someone don't that you plan to do ballet as your career. In my case, no. I just like doing them because they're kind of more challenging and they're fun. And then there's also another type of ballet shoe called a ballet flat. I kind of don't know what that's for, but from what I get from it, it's shoes that look kind of nicer that you can wear if you're going to an audition or something before you switch to your dance shoes. I don't know 100%, but that's from what I got from them, and I actually have a pair because my mom one year she didn't really know the difference between dance, and she got me a pair thinking, oh, it's what you wear in ballet and stuff. It was a mix up, but uh so to answer the question of when I started point, I actually started last year. And I've been on point for a year now. And how I started point, every dance studio, every dance situation is different, with different rules on point. I feel from what I understand, if you're going to a full time ballet school or something, then they kind of decide when you go on point, that situation. And then, but every dance situation is different. And I say that because I actually had I some or I had some fans, or a fan. Essentially, it was a couple fan, and that's a family or something. And that also does YouTube and stuff. PCS for a really long, last year, right? I want to say right after I started on point. I want to say during my first week of point. It might have been in my first actual dance class on point or something. I filmed this video and I posted it on Instagram, and I captioned it or titled it one of my first times on point, because my first time ever on point was actually, it kind of doesn't count as my first, or it kind of does. What I mean is that at I'll get to that part in a minute, but I captioned it something like that. and they commented on it saying that like I'm saying like that I'm really amazing at it, and I replied to it like I replied, I guess I'm just naturally good. Like, not being braggy, just like, I never give myself credit for, like, my talent and stuff. I feel like I'm always, and it's not me, like, not wanting to, it's just me being in a part of my brain. It's just a perfectionist. I like to work hard, and when that part of my brain isn't thinking that what I'm doing is perfect, or that I can do better, or I can continuously work harder, that situation. Speaking of working harder, or next year I'm gonna vote way more, like as hard as I possibly can for Kids' Choice Award. I'll explain in a separate video. When I make like a part 3 to my Lolly Talks, the Nickelodeon and JoJo situation. I won't wait to do a part 3 though, until I get a little more to give you, like, more evidence or like more anger or something. And I got really upset yesterday because I have already been upset about this, and then JoJo's mom reposted and like basically like saying how she wasn't invited, and it just made me go like over the top upset all over again. It's a problem. And it's a problem that I'm telling myself that like it's okay to be upset right now about everything that Nickelodeon has done. But this is dance related. So like they replied back to it saying that at their like studio you have to like pass like a certain series of tests to go on point. So like every place is different, and in my case, actually what had happened in my case is I have seen like point work just seemed challenging but fun, like that situation. And so what happened was on this one day I had been looking into like kind of like cheaper point shoes for a while, like and what I mean by cheaper is I mean like off of like Walmart and Amazon, and I kind of wasn't trusting Walmart because, and also I didn't even bother to look in like on Wish because I hear like mixed reviews on Wish. Like sometimes the items are like pretty decent and cheap, and sometimes they're like really bad and not like they're just really bad and not worth it. Like so like I was looking into like Walmart and Amazon and then their prices of point shoes overall, and I found a pair on Amazon that came in pink, like in the classic light pink, and they came in red, and the red looked like exactly what I like. I really want the red pair because it's like pretty and amazing, and I'm gonna quickly grab my point shoes and show you. They are very worn. So this is the toe pad at North. They are very worn, and so they look kind of disgusting. And then here is, I'm not even going to show you the inside because of how disgusting it is. And here it is. Yeah, you can tell these are definitely worn, but they're holding up really well. And you can like definitely see like the stitch job that my dad did. Again, not showing you the inside. Very disgusting. Okay, I'm gonna set these right here. But they're like a really nice color, and it's like really noticeable and it pops. And I love it. Also, my mom's favorite color is red. And so like I just went like I mean it's kinda what I like look at, and I'm like, yes. So I was looking into it, and what happened was at the time they wouldn't give I don't know what happened at the time, but like like where something was posted on Instagram about like the pop-up classes and us having access to it or something, and but we never got the info for it or like anything, like I don't know. But what happened was this one day, and I had found like the light pink, which is like the classic like color for ballet like shoe. It's just a light pink, and I found the red on Amazon for like $19. It was like $19, and I think like 50 or like 99 cents or something. I'm not sure. It was like 50 cents or 99 cents, somewhere around there. I think it was 99 cents because I have seen them recently. Like when I search like dance stuff, just to see what I don't have and what I do. But anyways, like what ended up happening is that like I went like, yes, these are amazing. Fun fact, at one point I thought I ordered a pair of pointe shoes in a light like purple or like a violety color, and then off of Walmart, and turns out we don't know what, but it was a scam. I think because first up they got to our house and they weren't even pointe shoes, they were ballet slippers. Also, second, they kind of seemed like not the best quality, and also the sizing was way off because like we ordered like my sizing and it said, and like we checked the sizing a couple of times, and it's supposed to be my sizing, and then they got here and they were like the tiniest, like they were super super small, like to the point where I don't even think they would have fit Bella. Like and Bella's like much younger than me. And she's 6 years younger than me. It's weird because I forget that sometimes. And I say that because Bella's very mature in like a good way. And very responsible like for her age. And so I feel like I sometimes like forget that she's 10. And because sometimes it's not like how she dresses or like really acts, it's just like something about her is like mature in like a good way. And sometimes I forget that she's 10. And because she had kind of the maturity and stuff that I have at 16. And I'll admit, I'm kind of someone that, like, took a little longer for me to mature and be, like, more responsible. But once I hit that point, I hit it and we were good. Up to that point, it was a slow process, but it's fine. And that was nobody's fault. It was just, and it took me a little while longer, and that's okay. We can't all have like wins every single second of every single day. Life happens, and it's not always a win. But it can also, there's a lot of wins in my life, and that's good. But anyway, like I forget that Belle was like 10 and stuff. So like, but back to the point, like they were very small, and I was gonna use them in a video, but I ended up not, and that video ended up being a hot mess. But that was my fault. So, like what had happened was I got disappointed this one day, because I like wasn't sure about pop-up classes and we had access to them or what, like this whole thing, and like we didn't have the info and we like didn't have access at the time, I think. I don't know, like fully, but I was kind of like disappointed that day. And then what happened was I asked my mom. I went like, hey, sorry, I had to cough. I did not cough in that moment. Like, I just did, but, like, anyway, like, I literally asked her, I'm like, hey, like, there's a pair of point shoes on Amazon that are cheap for point shoes. Because, I'm like, point shoes, pricing can range like crazy. Like, the price range on them, like, the cheapest I have found, I want to say, like, $16 on Amazon, and I went with the $19 one, because the $16 one were just the point shoe. And for those who don't know anything about point shoes, the $19 ones was the full setup. What that means is, with point shoes, you have to, like, you have to get the full setup, because the full setup comes with the lace. It comes with, like, one thing of, like, lace that you have to measure out evenly, and you have to cut it, and to where you have 4 even pieces. And then it also, like, it comes with, like, toe pads. This is the kind I have, because that's what came, but I know there's also, like, a silicone kind I have not tried yet. And then, because with point shoes, you, like, have to have the toe pad. Like, you put the toe pad on your toe, and then you put it inside the shoe, because point shoes are solid wood. Well, this part, like, this upper part isn't, but this, like, base right here is wood, and also this entire, like, bottom from, like, up to this point is wood. And then it also comes with a piece of elastic that you have to measure out and cut it perfectly in half. And then you have to sew the elastic. Now, I have heard with littler kids or people who are just starting on point sometimes, they'll sew it on the outside to, like, kind of make it an adjustment period, but you actually sew it on the inside of the heel. The reason that they do it on the outside sometimes, that is a real thing, is because with littler kids or younger kids sometimes that are doing hardcore, like, ballet, and sometimes, like, it kind of makes it an easier adjustment, but it goes on the inside and stuff. So what happened was, she would, like, show your dad, and if he approves, we'll get them. Like, so we did. And what ended up happening is teacher permission, like, that whole thing, like, it's kind of like a thing, and that you have to go through, which is certain ballet teachers or certain teachers or don't think you are ready for point yet, or maybe they don't think you're ready for point yet, because usually it's because you're not. And some, like, you kind of have to find out from your teacher on what's going on. And I brought it up to my ballet teacher the next Monday. We had already ordered them, and if she didn't approve of them, then I would just go wait until she did approve of them. And I brought it up to her, and she said, how long have you been on point? And I'm like, first time, and she was like, great. Like, she completely approved of them, and I started on point. And then we switched to a new ballet teacher, Danny, or Daniela, because that teacher, like, moved and stuff. But anyway, but at that point, I had already been on point for a while, so, like, she found out I was on point and just told me to be careful, so, yeah. But with dance, there's a lot in dance, and so to answer the question, I have been on point for over a year now, and point shoes are not fun sometimes. And I say that there is a not fun side to point shoes, and because well, it kind of makes it more, it makes it more challenging, which isn't the not fun side. It's the fact that your feet have to get adjusted to it. And that process is not fun. And I learned that the hard way. Because of the fact that it destroys your feet at first. Like, it physically, if you are doing, going on point more than 30 minutes, I would say, at a time, and your feet are not adjusted to it yet, you're gonna possibly get peeled skin, you're possibly gonna have some, pink spots, or some peeled skin, or some bleeding, peeled skin that, started bleeding, and, I learned that the hard way. Yeah, there was a feet situation, a feet adjustment stage. And what I mean by that is my feet. At one point, the first ballet class I ever did on point, I did pretty good. And I was pretty good and naturally took to it. But, the first week, my pinky toe on my right foot got a little bit of it got a little bit pink. Yeah, it got a little bit. Wait, one. Wait, I'm figuring something out real quick. I could be wrong. That I'm figuring something out really quick in my head before I tell you the story and stuff. And the reasoning is because I'm kind of getting stories mixed up or something. And I don't. Oh wait, that kind of would make sense. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you because I might be getting this wrong. What I mean by that is I remember something happening. Well, also, I'm figuring something out because it's my brain is trying to figure something out because I remember going on. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, I figured it out. What I mean by that is I was getting stories mixed up. Wait, no. Okay, I don't fully. My brain is just I can't figure this out fully. But at one point, I brought it up to the teacher. I remember that, but I'm getting stories mixed up because I remember. Oh wait, that would kind of make sense. Okay. I think I figured it out. I'm not 100. At one point, where made a little pink spot that I think actually ended up kind of being a little bit of a bubble on my baby toe. I don't remember when this was, and I say that because something else that plays into picture. Oh wait, yes, I was correct on something. And so I told the teacher, I was getting mixed up because around that time and when I made my first dance friend person who we were friends and then we weren't, or we're not right now. And I say that because randomly when nothing happened, by the way, it just randomly, I woke up one day and things were fine, no big deal. And then after but something seemed off because of the fact that something seemed off because me and the one girl, I'm gonna say her name, Eva. Me, Eva, and then another one of my friends, and who is a dance friend, Linnea, all had a group chat, and then randomly something seemed off in the group chat, and then after like a couple months, I figured, like, I kept thinking either the account was glitched, and then it wasn't, because I realized one day that she had left the group chat, and I, like, completely didn't realize. And then I, like, went into her account through one of my other accounts that, like, she wasn't aware of, I don't think. And then randomly I realized her account was fine, and I realized I was blocked. So she, like, randomly blocked me, and then all of, like, and all of her posts except for one, on which I had not seen, like, with one post of, like, she didn't have a lot of posts, but randomly, I realized that all of her posts that I had reposted at one point, which I think I deleted all of them from my, like, page, I could be wrong, were, like, gone, like, deleted, like, all of them. And I realized I was blocked, so I went in and just blocked from all of my accounts. Blocked her from all of my accounts. I have no clue what happened, because nothing was said. It was like, oh, I'm blocked. Well, that's life. Move on. I can't be thinking about someone that I was friends with that blocked me, when I have so much, like, greatness. And that's not me, like, being braggy. It's just in that moment, instead of, like, getting upset or obsessing over it, the best thing would be to move on. So that's what I did. Me and Linnea were still on good terms. That, at least I'm aware of. Anyway, like, I know, like, I haven't blocked her yet. She hasn't blocked me yet. I don't know if we'll ever block each other. I hope not. Like, but, but anyways, I took a point class and stuff, and it was, like, my first time, and, like, yeah. But moving on to more topics about dance. Well, I'm kind of making this, like, focus more on, like, ballet sort of thing, because, yeah, like, for me, I like point work. It's challenging. But, like, after, like, a while, I want to say my second time on point, like, my second, like, ballet class on point, like, ended badly. Like, literally, so we got near the end of the class, and it was, like, an hour and a half, I want to say. And for some reason, all of a sudden, and my right foot just felt weird. Like, it felt uncomfortable. Like, and then what ended up happening, I ended up actually kind of leaving or logging off early that day because of this reasoning. And then actually, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I can't fully remember. But, so, like, I just kind of, like, pushed through. Like, it started to almost hurt a little bit. Like, but I'm like, dancers go through pain anyway, like, sometimes. And you just gotta work through it. And we're, like, almost at the end of class. It's not even that bad. It's, like, a level 1. So, like, not even that bad. It just feels really weird. And it's not even really pain. It's more like it feels weird and uncomfortable. And, like, I'm like, we only have, like, a few minutes, like 2 or 3 minutes left of class, maybe 4 at most. And I'll just, like, push through and finish class. And then I have, like, a break. Like, I want to say, like, 2 or 3 minute break. So I, like, get through class, no problem. And I turn my camera off because it's, like, time for my little, like, break, which is, like, so we can, like, take our shoes off and like, get ready for our next class and get water. And instantly I want to say I took off my right like point shoe and noticed my foot was like destroyed, like pretty good. And then I took off my left shoe and my foot was like fine. Like it had like one little piece of like peeled skin and then like kind of a bruise. But that was it for my left foot versus my right foot had peeled skin, like a pretty good amount of peeled skin. And my big toe, the peeled skin was kind of bleeding, like a very little tiny bit. And like the bubble that was on my baby toe, it was like a bubble of skin, had like completely like popped or something, like because it looked as if it was popped or something. And it was like not fun. In fairness, I think it was like a blister or some, I don't know what, I forget what, like the type of like thing that you have to like pop or else it will pop on its own, like, or something, I don't know. But anyways, and the second I took that point shoe off, my foot like went like no. Like the air, exposing it to air was like not fun. And I ended up putting like, I'm not joking, like 4 band-aids on my right foot because what I did was I put one on top and then I had to put like one on each side because I was trying to like hit all the like peeled skin parts and then I had to put one on the bottom because if I didn't, it was to like kind of keep it like all together because if I didn't, the rest of the band-aids were not gonna stay. And then then my other foot I was pretty much fine with, but I was not able to walk on like, I wasn't able to have my toe touch the ground like the next day. And then after a while, after a while things got fixed. Peace out.